Welcome to this week's episode of Those Two Guys Talk Disney, and welcome back. I realize it's been almost a year since we did this.
Been a minute.
Not medical issues this time. We didn't actually have any medical issues.
Yeah.
It was just more of a... we did have some technical issues. I actually ended up losing an episode. Well, I recovered it. I haven't actually watched it to make sure it's good, though. So that's why it ain't posted yet, because I just want to make sure it's correct and not messed up. But we moved studios again.
And so just work scheduling and life in general, things got away from us. And
But also, we did, like I said, move studios again, so we're not in the small room, which you've seen for, like a month or two before we weren't able to do this for a while. We're no longer in that room. Now we're in a lot bigger room.
yeah.
I got signatures behind me. Jay actually has, like, a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff behind him. And the Pokemon poster.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're glad to be back. We've actually been trying to figure out how to come back and what that would actually look like. We were scheduled to come back about a month ago, but a lot of stuff was happening at the time, so it just got a little messed up. But we are back now, and since it is the month of May, we decided, since May 4th is International Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you.
Obviously, we're not releasing on the 4th because I was stupid and I didn't get it done. We didn't get it done in time. We're still going to do Star Wars for this entire month.
Because why not?
So we should actually have episodes 1, 2, and 3 up. Today we're doing episode 1. Next week will be episode 2, and then the following week will be episode 3. And then we are going to do some anniversary movies. Every one of them has obviously everything has an anniversary every year, but like a significant anniversary. So, in June it's Peach Dragon, the original Peach Dragon, but it's not. Where it is the original, it is not actually an anniversary of the original, like when it was released. It is actually the anniversary of when it was on ABC as a Sunday night movie. Nice. So that's why we can do it. Otherwise, the thing's like 50 years old, something like that, something like crazy.
That, yeah.
And then we're actually going to follow that up with the cartoon Dumbo.
I see everything, man. I see the elephant fly.
Which is actually crazy because that movie came out in like the 40s, dude.
I know. I remember watching that movie. We was just wee little lads.
Yeah. And then we're going to do a live action Peach Dragon because it is, ironically enough, the anniversary for that one. That's actually a 10-year anniversary for that one. And then we're going to do...
The live action one's been out for 10 years already?
Yeah. Maybe it's 5. I don't know, it's either 5 or 10.
Wow.
And then,
still 5, that's still...
Was it motocross or is it cowbells? I think it's motocross.
Yeah.
Which is a decom, so... and that'll be for... there's for the next 2 months. And then we're going to have some more months, too, where we're going to cover a movie franchise. Like, one of them on there is Pirates of the Caribbean, one is Cars.
Where is all the rum going?
What?
Where is all the rum going?
So, we're just trying to cover franchises, too. And if there's multiple movies that have an anniversary this year, why don't we just cover that franchise now? That way we can cover their to at least a couple of their anniversary dates.
Right.
I mean, kind of my thought. but I actually mapped out the end of the year at least. Then I gotta go back through and make another list for next year for what all has an anniversary again. And if you guys want to hear more from us, go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or pretty much wherever you get your podcasts and check out the audio version of the Creeptastic Nerds. We don't have a YouTube channel for that. We don't have a video version of that yet. We're just audio on that one. And I actually think it's a pretty fun podcast to listen to. Go back in our archives and listen to the vampire episode.
You get a pretty good laugh. Especially at his brother Tyler.
Yes. And that's where we started this whole journey anyways. But yeah, go back and check that out. We just released 2 episodes on that. Was it last month?
Something like that. Can't remember exactly when.
Pretty recently. And we're going to actually start recording that too. So, on to today's topic, I guess.
That's crazy to think that we've been doing this as long as we have.
And what, about 5 years now?
Something like that, yeah.
Almost 6. I think me and Tyler started in 2020.
We got quite a few episodes out for Creeptastic Nerds. And
yeah, I think me and Tyler actually started it in 2020. And then we did it for about 6 months. Then we brought you in permanently.
Yep.
And we've been doing it ever since.
So, you
about
started
6 years.
this one?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
It's crazy.
We've been doing video podcasts for a couple years. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're not very good video podcasts because the computer we record on is not very good.
No, it's not the greatest, but it does the job for now.
I definitely think I should just go back to my laptop. Because that thing is not very good. At least not running the Ubuntu like we do now. Anyways, on to our topic.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright. Star Wars Episode 1. The Phantom
Menace.
Menace. You know what I just realized, dude? I never said our names. I'm Just Vaughn, that's Jay Gibson.
Holla.
Excuse me, I'm a little out of practice. Alright, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The synopsis.
Well, the release date was May 19th, 1999.
I know, dude. I read the synopsis first.
We'll read the synopsis first.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is a young apprentice Jedi Knight under the tutelage of Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, who will later father Luke Skywalker and become known as Darth Vader, is just a 9-year-old boy. When the Trade Federation cuts off all routes to the planet Naboo, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are assigned to settle the matter.
You know what's funny? When you look at the character list for this movie, the actors and the name of the character, it doesn't say Anakin. It says Darth Vader.
Not mine. Mine said Anakin Annie Skywalker.
Because when I did my homework for it, and I click on the cast, and it literally says Jake Lloyd, Darth Vader. It doesn't say Anakin, even though.
Oh, I didn't do that one. I actually went to another one and did the cast.
It's just funny because it is Anakin, but he does become Darth Vader. But it's just funny that this is Darth Vader. It doesn't actually say Anakin. It's like what?
All right, and then yes, Jay said the release date.
Yep, May 19th, 1999.
So perfect month to release this in.
Yeah.
We're just about 10 days ahead of where it actually got released.
Yep.
The budget was $115 million.
115 million. It isn't insane.
It boxed office. Now I gotta qualify this. It has been in theaters twice, which is why the box office is so high.
The 1,047.
No, 1.047 billion.
Yeah.
That's why it's so high. It was actually re-released to theaters, in 3D.
And of course, directed by none other than George Lucas.
True that. Ratings on this, IMDb, 6.5 out of 10. So, pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Rotten Tomatoes is 54%. I think it should be higher.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it should have
Metacritic is 51%. Again, I think it should be higher. The runtime is 2 hours and 11 minutes.
I don't know what TMDB is, but for that rating, it was 6.6 out of 10.
Honestly, that's probably supposed to be an I.
No.
Oh,
No,
I don't know then.
Well, here's the IMDb. I had that one.
Oh.
And then give me another one.
I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is, but it was a 6.6 out of 10 for that one.
Yeah, runtime's 2 hours and 11 minutes, which apparently I forgot to write into my notes.
I forgot to write that down too.
When I typed my notes up, I forgot to add that in, so I had to write it in later. It was filmed in several actually locations, in several different countries actually. Some of which I don't know how to say. The Naboo palace scenes were in the palace of Caserta in Italy.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Could you please say that again?
My phone just started talking.
I was like, what is that? I didn't know what that was.
That was Siri. It was also the Tatooine scenes were filmed in Tunisia.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try pronouncing their names. I wouldn't be able to.
Just the Naboo was actually filmed in the United Kingdom.
It's actually the first film in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, the first chronological chapter of the Skywalker saga.
Ooh. Yeah, which is why there's now 9 films.
Yeah.
The cast is Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, which, to be honest with you, he actually makes a pretty good Jedi Master.
He does.
Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker. Natalie Portman as Padme Amidala. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ahmed Best as Jar Jar Binks.
You got Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. Because he's tired of these snakes on the plane. No.
I like that. Pernilla August as Shmi Skywalker. I don't actually say Anakin's mom's name. She wasn't a big enough character for me to actually know how to say her name.
Yeah, I didn't really write down that many characters.
Well, there's certain ones I did because they're important later. Not necessarily important in this movie, but they're important later.
Yeah, I just wrote down like the main ones.
Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine / Darth Sidious. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. Kenny Baker as R2-D2, who played R2-D2 the entire time. Frank Oz as Yoda, which actually he was actually cut out in the release of that one.
I didn't put him down in the notes for this one. I put him in the notes for the next one.
Well, Yoda is in it, so he was, but he's actually the one that controlled the puppet. And I think
because I didn't think you really seen Yoda till the second one.
No, you see him in the first one.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't remember seeing him in the first one.
Yes, you've seen him in the first one.
I don't remember.
We will talk about it when we get there.
I don't remember.
Ray Park / Peter. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Because that's impossible for me to pronounce. That has so many vowels. Or not vowels, but consonants in it.
Which one?
The dude that voiced Darth Maul.
Oh. Ray Park?
Nope, there's another one.
Oh, that's like...
Go to the Wikipedia.
I thought that said Captain Pancake for a second. But that does not say Captain Pancake. I was like so confused for a second.
Jay's actually looking it up because he's trying to see if he can pronounce it.
Oh, right here. Peter Serafinowicz. Something like that, yeah. I apologize if I butchered that.
I don't actually know what's going on with my camera, so I apologize for my camera as being stupid.
Of course, Warwick Davis makes an appearance.
He does his little cameo appearance.
As a pod race spectator? Yeah, spectator. That man's been in a lot of things.
I know.
For a little person.
I know.
So I had to mention him because, he
and that's it for my notes.
Like I had to mention him.
I don't know what's going on with my camera.
No, I just had it wrote down that it followed the Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi as they protect the Queen Padme of Naboo and discover a young Anakin Skywalker, a slave boy, strong with the Force, while the Sith secretly plots their return, which is like the synopsis or what you want to call it of the movie.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
Okay, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. My camera's just like not working.
Uh-oh.
It shows a picture, but it's froze.
That's weird.
Which is why I think it's better we go back to my laptop. But everything else is working, so I'm not gonna mess with it too much. I'm actually just trying to see if I couldn't.
Although, how old would you say Padme was in this first movie?
I think she's 16.
Because then the second one, it's like supposed to take like 10 years later.
Yeah,
and
she's like significantly older than Anakin.
Yeah, they fall in love with each other, which is really weird. But they look about like the same age in the second one.
Yeah.
Like,
so this movie actually starts, of course, with the scrolling screen, just like every Star Wars movie does.
Long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away. And it just kind of moves from there. So, hey, when we're done recording, I'm going to try to switch our cameras. Just like, on that thing. Maybe my camera just requires more power than the computer can give it.
Okay. Whatever works.
But once you get through that, and it talks about like the Rebel Alliance or the Trade Federation, like stopping, just blocking Naboo and stuff like that. Then you actually have the two Jedi show up as delegates of the Chancellor, and that's when you learn about the Senate, somewhat. But you actually meet the first two Jedis, which is Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Trade Federation actually tries to kill them. They're calling a guy who just shows up in a cloak. You don't see his face all the way. He just kind of shows up cloaked, and he's, kill him. Don't let him escape. So then they try to actually send poison into the room.
Yeah.
They realize it, and they're like, okay, well, we just don't need to breathe. And they just hold their breath, and then they escape the room. Then they're just sending, like, droids after droids after droids after them.
The droids would open the door, and all you see is the smoke, and then all of a sudden you see the lightsaber. And they come jumping out, attacking all the droids, and big old fight scene.
And when those little droids that come out that like have their shield and block them, they just disappear and go into like the ventilation system. And they actually go and get on a transporter to go down to
the special effects and everything for these movies was just amazing.
Yes.
Like, just insane.
Oh, 100%, which is why it's worth the $115 million.
Insane.
Sorry. And the difference in the 80s when they recorded, or 70s, my bad, when they recorded the first movie, compared to, like, just then, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah.
to the point where the lightsabers look a whole lot realer. Which made me want a lightsaber.
I think it made everybody want a lightsaber. Honestly. When the original ones came out, I think it made people want lightsabers. Just because they thought it was cool.
When the Jedis get to Naboo, they actually get on 2 separate transport ships, and with the idea that they'll just meet up down on the planet, and they would just kind of ride these 2 different ones, and well, Qui-Gon Jinn actually gets to the planet. He's actually running from the droids and stuff, and he runs into Jar Jar Binks. Now, most people do not like this character. I actually have no issue with this character.
I like Jar Jar Binks. I think he's funny.
That's what I mean. I have no issue with this character. No, he is not the best character.
I mean, that's what lucky.
But he is not the worst character either.
No.
He is a very annoying character. But I love the way he talks.
He's very, very clumsy.
Yes. So, I don't actually have an issue with this character. And really, because they wanted to introduce his race, which I don't remember what it is right off the...
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called either.
Because they want to introduce that race, they had to have a character, and they had to have a reason to have that character out in the open like that. The reason was, he got banished because he's clumsy. Okay, I can follow that. Makes sense. They actually, like, talk about it, and, like, the 2 of them actually run. They end up running into Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn actually defend themselves, and then Jar Jar Binks decides to take them to his home planet, or his home city, on Naboo, which is under the water.
He is a naive Gungan. I guess
A Gungan, yeah, that's it.
A naive Gungan. That's the first word, naive.
So he finally admits that the bosses are gonna kill him, is what he says, but it's the king is going to kill him, and they basically just live under the water. And the Jedis actually...
They kind of remind you of like an advanced form of a frog or something.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Kind of thing.
But they get caught as soon as they walk into that place, taken to the bosses. Of course, Jar Jar is put in handcuffs. And he's telling them, oh, it was nice to meet you, that kind of stuff. And the Jedis are actually talking to the king, and they actually... Qui-Gon actually Jedi mind tricks him into giving him what he needs to get to Naboo. To the kingdom of Naboo, I should say, because he is actually on Naboo. And then he convinces them to let Jar Jar go with him, which Obi-Wan was so against. He did not like him.
He's like, are you sure we really need to...
He did not like him.
No.
Like, at all.
No. Yeah, no part of that.
So, they get in this cruiser, underwater cruiser, because they tell them the fastest way to Naboo is through the core. And a big fish bites them, an even bigger fish then bites that fish. And Qui-Gon goes, there's always a bigger fish.
What was going on? Yeah, they try to hide in a cave. Underwater cave, and then there's a big fish in there.
Yeah, well, they actually lose power. So, like, they're just trying to get it going again. And then when the lights come on, there's a giant fish in there, like a giant eel, that's trying to eat them. And then another bigger fish, they, like, just swim out of its way, and it eats the eel. They actually do make it to Naboo, and they actually tell the Queen, Amidala,
Padme.
that she really has to leave the planet. She has to get back to where the Senate is. It's just not safe for her there. They're invading. So then she realizes, oh no, they're actually invading. When she's actually talking to the senator for her planet, and communications get taken out. That's when they all decide, well, we better get the hell out of here. Sorry, just cussed. They start making their way to the ship, and thankfully the Jedi can pretty much defend against anything. At least the droids, anything.
These are not the droids you are looking for.
Wrong movie.
Sorry.
And they can actually just kind of like redirect. And they get her to her ship, but they have to actually like free her pilots. Why do they need so many pilots?
I don't know.
And then you never see them again.
Apparently it takes that many to fly it, I guess.
That's not even a big ship.
I know. That's what I thought. I was like...
But there was like 30 people that got on it.
I was like,
why did they need so many pilots for one ship?
I was like, this ship's not that big. Do we really need this many people piloting it? Like, what is going on here? I was like, what in the world?
It reached temperature and then just temperature's going back down or going back up. Excuse the noise. It's actually the AC unit.
I was like, what is that?
But yeah, they decide to escape. Figure what they got to do is just try to get past that one ship. Of course, that ship's firing at them and ends up hitting their shields.
Yeah, they end up taking damage.
So then they send out all these asteroid droids. And the only droid to survive was R2-D2, which is our first introduction to R2-D2.
Yeah.
And like he actually figures out how to route around the main power to auxiliary power and get the shields back up and going. And he effectively does it, saves the ship, and they get past the Trade Federation's big ship.
Isn't there actually a person inside that thing?
Yes. Well, yeah, it's Kenny Baker.
I thought there was actually a person inside the robot. That had to be interesting to film inside that thing.
Oh, I know.
Inside that thing while filming.
But yeah, you get past that and they realize they can't go into hyperdrive. Their hyperdrive's leaking. So now they gotta sit down, but they gotta sit down on a planet that's not controlled by the Federation. So they go to the Outer Rim, to Tatooine. Qui-Gon is going in town with Jar Jar Binks and R2-D2.
Why does he take Jar Jar with him? Why does he make Jar Jar stay at the ship?
Because Jar Jar owes him a life debt, and I'm pretty sure he wants to keep an eye on him. But he leaves he leaves Obi-Wan Kenobi back at the ship to take care of the Queen.
Yeah.
Because he's leaving the Queen back there with her little guard, which is like 5 people for her guard. But he's leaving her back there with her guard. And all of a sudden her captain comes out and says the Queen wants you to take her handmaiden with you, which is Padme.
Yeah.
Who is actually the Queen.
Right.
She did. Actually, that's pretty smart, not gonna lie. To have somebody that looks like you be in your place, and you just look like a handmaiden, because who's gonna go after the handmaiden over the Queen?
Right.
So they get there they get to town, and immediately realize this is not a good place to be. They find a shop that they can actually go into, and this is also where you first meet Anakin Skywalker. Find out he's actually really good at building stuff.
Yeah.
And which is actually why he's kept around, and he's a slave. along with his mom, to the junk dealer
Yep.
that he's working at. While Qui-Gon tries to make a deal with the junk dealer for a new hyperdrive and some other parts he needs. Anakin's actually sitting with Padme, talking to Padme and Jar Jar Binks. And you know Qui-Gon Jinn said, don't touch anything. First thing Jar Jar does, start touching stuff.
Is it turn on that one little freaking droid?
Yeah, which is messing him up. And then Anakin goes,
touch his
nose. And then,
just like a kid in the candy shop, man. Like a little kid, tell them not to touch something, they go and touch something. Like when take kids to the museum, don't touch it. Oh, touch.
So you also see like Qui-Gon Jinn trying to talk to the junk dealer about the parts he needs. The junk dealer said, well, I got the parts you need, but how are you paying for it? And he said, well, we got 20,000 Republic credits. He said, Republic credits don't work here.
Yeah.
He said, you need cash.
Sorry, having some issues with my headphones.
And so he goes, well, we'll have to figure something out. So he actually goes to leave. And then the junk dealer actually lets Anakin go home after he cleans the racks.
Yeah.
Well, in the process of walking down the street, Jar Jar Binks sees something hanging from a rack. Instead of not touching anything like he was told,
he tried to eat it.
He tries to eat it. The guy wants payment for it, naturally, because he's trying to sell it. He ends up basically ended up flying out of his mouth into the cup or bowl, I don't know what it was it fell into, of a pod racer. Apparently a pretty evil pod racer.
Yeah.
But then Anakin actually catches up and he actually convinces that other racer not to mess with him. And they actually leave. And Anakin invites them back to his house because a sandstorm was coming and they wouldn't have enough time to get back to their ship. In the process of it, like, Qui-Gon Jinn keeps saying, I feel the disturbance in the Force. And he's actually talking about Anakin.
Yeah, the Force is apparently strong with Anakin. He even ends up asking who his father is.
Then come to find out, Anakin doesn't have a father.
Yeah.
Anakin was born from the midichlorians. Which is kind of cool. But apparently he has like 20,000 of them in his body, which is more than Yoda has. It's more than any Jedi known to man. Or known in the galaxy, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah.
But he also talks about how he is the actual only human that can do a pod race. That would be why. Because he's a Jedi. Or he has the qualities of a Jedi. Then actually offers to race for him. But before that, he actually shows Padme a droid he's actually building himself to help his mom.
C-3PO.
Yes. So you actually see C-3PO.
Way before he's ever gold.
And before he's even coated completely. Like he doesn't even have all of his body parts on. Like,
I see
it's just the wiring.
Yeah.
And like everything to make a move. Which actually the droids start talking immediately and become friends.
Yeah.
Which make complete sense seeing how in the rest of the movies they're friends.
R2-D2 doesn't really talk. He beeps and boops.
Yeah, but he understands.
Beep, boop, boop, boops.
The C-3PO understands. Sorry. Then they realize that Anakin is someone that's high in the Force. His mom does not like him pod racing, but she finally agrees that he can help. And Anakin's telling him, look, I built the fastest pod racer. Then come to find out he'd never won a race. He's never even finished a race. He's always gotten taken out. But he actually did tell his boss, I saved it mostly. Like, because he talks about how he took out his pod racer, and he goes, I saved it mostly. But Qui-Gon actually does agree. They actually go into the junk dealer and like, hey, here's the deal. I have this pod racer. I want Anakin to pilot it. And the guy's like, well, the entry fee's this much. How are you going to do that? Qui-Gon puts up the ship as the entry fee. Then actually convinces that guy to actually do the entry fee. And tells him he can have all of the money.
Well, like they
except...
Well, first the guy was like, so the pod's yours, the racer, the driver's mine, so the winnings would be 50-50, and then he was like, no, you have all the winnings.
Yeah, he tells him you can have all the winnings minus what I need for my parts.
Yeah.
So basically, he's just doing the race for the parts. At the race, he actually makes a bet with him that Anakin will win. If Anakin does, he frees him.
Yep.
Try to free both him and his mom. The junk dealer wasn't going for that.
No, definitely not.
But he offered a chance for one or the other.
And of course, before the race actually got started, you see that other pod racer that Jar Jar Binks ended up throwing the food at by accident, like tamper with Anakin's pod.
Yeah. Which doesn't really come back to hurt him. At all.
Anakin ends up winning anyway, but
Anakin was right. He actually did build the fastest pod.
the fact that he his start was delayed because of you messed with it and he had to figure out something to get it to go, and he still caught back up and beat everybody.
Yeah, he killed it, man. Like, you can see, like, why in the later films they show him, like, piloting and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a really good pilot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he ends up catching up and passing that dude, and that dude ends up blowing up his pod, and Anakin ends up crossing the finish line. So now Anakin's free. They have the parts for the ship. And Anakin has the decision whether to go or not. His mom told him it's not her decision, that's his decision. Which is pretty awesome about his mom.
Yeah.
Because she could have been like, no, he's my baby. Instead, she goes, Annie, that's your decision.
She'd rather him be free, though, than start being a slave.
So, she lets him go. He goes, and he thinks he's going to train as a Jedi. But they finally go to leave, and Darth Maul shows up. Which, one, I love the way Darth Maul looks.
Yeah.
Darth Maul looks awesome. And the double-sided lightsaber. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But he ends up showing up. He fights Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn actually sends in Anakin to tell Obi-Wan, start the ship, get the ship flying, but fly low so I can get on, basically. And he tells him, oh, look, fly low, right over there. So they just, like, fly up, and as they're flying, he just, like, hops up and walks up the ramp and leaves Darth Maul in the dust. They get back to the planet where the Senate is, and the Chancellor comes out and he greets them, and he's apologizing for, like, everything they're going through kind of thing. And while she's dealing with the Senate, they're actually going to go talk to the Jedi Council, which is where Mace Windu and Yoda and a whole bunch of other people are.
Yoda.
And they kind of tell Yoda about, running into Darth Maul, but they didn't know his name was Darth Maul. This was that he suspected he was a Sith. And they're like, well, the Sith died out, so we're going to have to figure this out. And then he asks for Anakin to be tested. Anakin gets tested, and he's 100% right on everything that they're showing him. But Yoda senses a lot of fear in him.
Because Yoda's wise and powerful.
I'm trying to think like how that works, or what he says. Fear turns into loss turns into hate leads to the dark side, something like that.
Something along the line.
And he says he senses a lot of fear in him, but they don't tell him, nope, you can't be trained or anything like that. But they do tell Qui-Gon he's not getting trained. In that time, though, the Queen decides she's got to go back to her planet after she calls for a no vote and the council and the Senate Council, because the Chancellor's just like, well, let's just take a minute and send a delegation. So she calls for a vote of no confidence, and they're electing a new Chancellor or Vice Chancellor, I don't know, whatever it is. And Palpatine is in consideration. We still don't know he's evil at this point.
Yeah.
You just know he's a senator for Naboo.
Naboo.
I love those little Senate Hall things, though, because it shows like a bunch of different races, which is kind of cool. But one of them's E.T.
Yeah.
Like whatever race E.T. is, he's in there. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool nod towards, Steven Spielberg by throwing E.T. in there. But they all leave to go back, and the Jedi Council tells Qui-Gon Anakin's not to be trained, he's too old. Qui-Gon goes, well, I'll train him. And they're like, well, you already have an apprentice in Obi-Wan. And Qui-Gon goes, well, Obi-Wan's ready to go so he can do the trials. And they're like, well, let's discuss this after you get back. So they do. They all leave. Get back on the Queen's ship. They're flying back to Naboo. They gotta figure out how to get in undetected to where they can actually get to the castle, so they can take the Viceroy from the castle. Well, their plan is, well, let's go to Jar Jar's people, and Jar Jar, they can talk to them and maybe they'll help. Come to find out, they've deserted their city. They're in the sacred place, as Jar Jar calls it.
The sacred.
So they all go there to meet him, and the Queen convinces them that they need each other, and she actually barters a treaty between them pretty much. And
she did what she had to do, man.
True that.
She did what she had to do.
The thing is, though, I think she actually really truly bartered a treaty between them, because after this, you see Jar Jar, he's in the Senate now.
Yeah.
Like, he's a senator representing his people, but representing Naboo. I don't know, I would want Jar Jar in the Senate.
Hey, you know what?
But it's not saying he's not a good senator. He may be a phenomenal senator. I don't know, because we don't ever see that part of it.
You know what? He fights right along with the rest of them and helps save the place.
He does. And they actually make him a bombarder general. And his accidents actually end up working out for him. Because, he doesn't just take out, one or two. He takes out several with an accident.
Yeah.
So it's all right. Maybe kind of good to have him on your side.
Anakin and R2-D2 end up jacking a ship.
He did not move.
He told him to stay in the cockpit. He stayed in the cockpit.
He did. He listened to him.
That's exactly what he told R2. He's like, he told me to stay in the cockpit. I'm not leaving the cockpit. They go to kick some butt in that thing, though.
Again, showing that he is a great pilot. Like,
he's like, R2D2, get this thing off of autopilot, or we're gonna get us killed.
Like, you don't want him to be a Jedi. Cool. Make him a pilot.
Yeah.
Make him a fighter pilot. He is phenomenal.
He definitely knows what he's doing behind that gear shift on that ship. That's for sure.
Like, not knowing how to fly that ship, he figured it out.
Well, not much different than flying his pod.
But without knowing exactly how, he figured it out. Figured out what he would have to do. Figured out how to take out the communication ship that's blocking their transmission. Like, he figured that out.
He's all, what, like 12?
He's 9.
9 years old up there in this thing just flying around, blowing stuff up. Taking stuff out.
Granted, yes, he has the greatest droid of all time in R2D2. However, he's 9.
A 9-year-old in this thing just taking out. That's crazy.
He figured out how to accomplish a mission that grown adults who are used to flying their ships couldn't figure out how to do.
And he never left the cockpit.
True that.
He told me nothing was the cockpit. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan end up fighting Darth Maul in... I don't even know what that room is. But, like, the room has, like, beams that go, like, act as doors, basically. And you gotta wait for them to move so you can run through, and then it, like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
Qui-Gon actually gets killed. Gets cut in half.
Yeah.
Gets dropped down. Obi-Wan actually gets defeated by Darth Maul. Gets kicked down that thing. Catches a little thing. Holding on. Realizes the lightsaber's right there. Starts using the Force to pull the lightsaber towards him. Does this little cool flip thing over the top of him. Turns on the lightsaber and just cuts Darth Maul in half. Why didn't he grab that lightsaber? That lightsaber was awesome.
I don't know.
You could have changed that crystal in there, made it a blue and a green one. Man, you'd been good to go.
Yeah. Because that's not how it was supposed to happen, okay?
But Darth Maul actually like falls apart and he falls down the giant hole. And the good guys win this time. And Palpatine actually does become the Chancellor of the Senate. They actually have like a little party like right there, and you actually like, and Obi-Wan actually goes in front of the Jedi Masters, and they actually officially make him a full Jedi, and then he convinces them to let him train Anakin.
Yep.
Just like Qui-Gon wanted.
Anakin became his apprentice.
And they finally agree that he can train Anakin. So Qui-Gon Jinn was correct. Anakin was going to become a Jedi. Then you actually see him at the end of the movie. They actually cut his hair. And then give him that little weird Padawan braid.
Yeah.
Which you can do. He does not like his hair.
I don't know. I still find it a little odd
Why?
that he's 9 and Padme is like, I don't know how old.
Well, let's find out.
And then they apparently somehow like can't lie about each other ever since then and end up falling
How
off.
old? That is not what I've typed though. How old is had. Oh, look at that. Apparently, it was listening. She was only 14 in the first one.
She's only way older than 14.
Padme, because the actress was, but Padme Amidala is 14 years old in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. She is 5 years older than Anakin Skywalker,
Okay,
who is 9.
I guess it's not too bad. There's only 5 years difference. So 10 years later,
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been 19. She would have been 24.
Sure.
Well, if he was 9,
Yeah. No, you're
10
right.
years later, he'd be 19.
Yeah.
She's
You're
5
right.
years older.
Yeah. You're right.
So I guess it's not that much, you know. It just seemed like a big difference when you're watching it.
Yeah. Well, because he is 9.
When you watch it, it just seemed like it was a big difference because she did look so much older than him. But it's the actress. I get it, but that makes it sound a little bit better now. That's so weird now. But again, he was 9 and he fell in love with this chick.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about it this whole time.
Apparently.
That's what he said when he come back 10 years later. He'd been thinking about it this entire time. You were 9 years old, bro. You get the right to be a Jedi. What?
Overall thoughts of this movie?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I love those movies. I think they're fun. Just the graphics, everything is really entertaining. Keeps you drawn in because you want to know what's going to happen next.
Even in the 90s when this movie came out, my mom was with Shane at the time. Shane was a huge Star Wars fan. He watched the first 3. He actually borrowed them from Dennis, who was an even bigger fan. So I can actually watch them because he would not let me go see the first one, or episode 1, until I watched the original 3. That was the deal.
We own the original 3 on DVD.
So I sat and watched the original 3. I was like, this is awesome. I want to see the episode 1. So he actually took me and was it Glenn, I think it was, who was actually my uncle, who was like 3 years older than me, to see it. And I think his son Matthew, I think Shane's son Matthew also went. But we went and seen it, and it was like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Taco Bell had like all the real cool stuff, like the cups. It had all the different stuff on them. So I was like, hey, this is awesome. I loved watching it. We actually got it when it first came out on DVD. Same with when the episode 2 and episode 3 came out. We got those too. So I love these movies. I have for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not a humongous Star Wars fan, but I am a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, like, I'm not a humongous either, but I do love them. I do enjoy them. They're fun to watch. I haven't watched them in a while, though. It's been a long time to watch them, but definitely enjoy watching them when I do watch them.
Yes. That's why I said, to me, the ratings could have been a little bit better on them. Seemed a little low to me.
They do seem a little low.
But I'm not the one that wrote the ratings. I just spoke on what they were, so not on me. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, for this being 20 years after, you know, he made the first 3. Not bad.
Yeah.
He came back really hard.
Oh, yeah.
And with one heck of a budget. But even like this one's 115. The next one's again 115. But you see what a box office. That's insane.
Yeah.
So obviously this movie has been heavily watched. Alright, join us next time. Or next week, I guess it would be. For episode 2. Until then,
Attack of the Clones.
we'll see you guys later.
Peace.